Dzień dobry! Today we are in the Maverick Baking kitchen because I'm about to make and taste my first ever pierogi. We're going to be making a sweet blueberry and raspberry pierogi to serve with some sour cream and some icing sugar. So let's go. So to start making your pierogi, you're going to want to take a whole load of plain flour and you want to add a little bit of icing sugar just to help sweeten the dough and just a tiny pinch of sea salt because salt improves everything. So I just did this directly on my worktop. You don't have to, but I just kind of found it easier to work with. You're then going to want to make a little well in your dry ingredients and add 2 eggs and a little bit of water. The water you can add gradually just depending on how much you feel the dough needs. So you're then just going to use your hands to bring this together into a fairly kind of rough looking dough. But once you've kneaded it for kind of 5 to 6 minutes, it should start to look smooth and even feel kind of a bit elastic as well. After that, you're going to want to let the dough rest covered for about an hour. This just helps the dough become a bit more elastic and the gluten in it to relax so that it's not kind of as tight, much easier to work with. So once it's rested for an hour, tip it out onto a floured surface where you can see it looks much more smooth and shiny. You're then just going to divide your dough into 2 halves, one for the blueberry pierogi and 1 half for the raspberry pierogi. Or if you're just doing one flavour, you don't need to bother with this step. You're then going to want to roll it out until it's about 3 to 4 millimeters thick. I will admit mine was a bit thicker than I had planned, but I'll know that for next time. You're then going to want to stamp out just some circles from your dough once it's all nice and evenly rolled out. I will have full measurements and everything in the recipe below. And once you've done this, you're just going to want to set the scraps to one side. You can always re-roll and reuse them depending on how many dumplings you need. And to make the blueberry pierogi, I put kind of 2 to 3 blueberries, depending on their size, into the centre. Now for the raspberry, you may only need 1 because the raspberries are much bigger. You're then going to fold the circles over each other and kind of pinch the semicircles together at the end. So you can do this by kind of just even Googling what a pierogi looks like, or even a Japanese gyoza kind of shape is very similar to what we're going for here. Nothing fancy, no tools needed, just your fingers and making sure they're pressed together very well at the edges. They actually kind of look like tiny Cornish pasties as well now that I look at them. So this is what my pierogi looked like when they were all kind of folded up, the blueberry on the right, raspberry on the left, and I then brought a pot of salted water up to the boil to cook them in. I cooked them kind of a handful at a time. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. Mine took around 4 to 5 minutes because they were quite thick, as I said, and yes, some of my crimping wasn't that effective. They did burst in a couple of areas on some of them, but you guys don't need to see that, it's fine. Once my pierogi were cooked, I added a little bit of butter just to stop them from sticking to each other. And this is the finished product. Boiled, sweet, pretty. And now it's just time to taste them and see how they are. Okay, so the pierogi are fresh out of the pan. We have some of our blueberry kind and our raspberry kind. I can't believe how much they've grown, which sounds really stupid because I should have expected the dough to expand, but these now look massive. So I've dusted them just with a little bit of icing sugar, probably too much because the plate now looks like a scene from Scarface. And I also have a little bit of just regular kind of sour cream because I've heard that sour cream or whipped cream is a typical kind of accompaniment to this. Again, let me know in the comments if that's very wrong. So I boiled the pierogi for kind of 3 to 4 minutes because I think I made my dough a little bit too thick to just do it for 2. So anyway, enough chat. Let's just get a big old kind of spoonful of our cream and we'll just kind of dot it all over the place and let's just get stuck into these. I'm very excited, I'm very hungry because this took me longer than expected. So let's just get stuck in. I think I'm going to try the blueberry first. My first ever pierogi. It's so simple, but it's so good. Let me just show you a little kind of close up. So the blueberries have kind of burst just a little bit, so they're releasing just a little bit of their juice. They're sweet, they're kind of sour. So interestingly, the dough is soft, but it also does have a little bit of bite to it. It almost is, and I really need to stop comparing this to pasta because I know it's not pasta. I know I'm not eating tortellini, but that's kind of the closest thing I can compare it to from my experience. So it is almost the texture of an al dente pasta, but it's different. And the sour cream goes really well with there. The sugar is nice. Let's taste one of these big raspberry pierogi and see how they are. So this one has pink raspberry juice bursting all over the place. I don't know if you guys are able to see in the center there, but the raspberry has kind of softened and become nice and sweet and juicy, and wow. With the sour cream and some of the sugar and that nice kind of chewy dough, it's really good. It really is kind of unlike anything I've ever had before. It obviously tastes like a dessert, but because the dough is so nice and kind of chewy, it is quite a substantial thing as well. It's very new to me, but I'm definitely a fan. I can imagine that these would be fantastic in a savoury kind as well. I heard you guys recommend to me cheese and potato filling or a sauerkraut filling or a mushroom filling, and after seeing how kind of simple this was, I'm definitely keen to try it. This is way too big for one mouthful. So while these obviously aren't kind of as mind-blowingly good as the potchki were that I made a couple months ago, it's definitely something I would like to experiment with. It would be interesting to see if you could flavour the dough with anything, you know, if you could add some vanilla or some cinnamon or some other kind of spices to the dough, or if you were making a savoury version, if you could add some herbs, even, you know, a little bit of kind of hard cheese through it or something. I'm very excited to try and make these again and kind of experiment with it, but I am very, very happy with, for the first time, how these turned out. Obviously they look a mess now because they're half eaten and I probably have sugar and sour cream everywhere. But I'm impressed and I'm very pleased with how well these turned out. As I said, let me know in the comments if these are totally wrong or if they look okay, if you would like to try them, if there's anything else I should have done differently. And of course, if you guys would like to see me try any other kind of sweet or savoury Polish recipes, probably sweet to begin with because they tend to be easier, do let me know in the comments. I'm very much enjoying trying cuisine from a country I've never even visited before. It's very fun to kind of try out new techniques like this and new flavours and combinations and stuff. So let me know in the comments if there's anything else I need to try. I have my eye on a Polish apple cake recipe I've seen somewhere, so let me know what you think. I will be dropping the recipe I used in the description box below. I'll also have it up on my website, maverickbaking.com. If you guys enjoyed this video, of course, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. And yeah, I'm gonna go finish these and I will see you very soon.